Never perfect.
Man.
Always fun.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Deanna and Justin in the moment.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been sitting on this for a week. So I went to see Post Malone. Great show. Like, insane. Like, did all his regular hits, like, before the countrified version, but, like, made them country-ish. Like, Better Now is, like, with a piano and, like, a fiddle. So it was good.
Yeah.
Like, fireworks budget. There was a full fireworks show for 2 hours. It was amazing. So me and my sister go. It's at Hershey, which went for Creed. Parking nightmare. Strategically parked this time. And also left before the encore. Like, Creed stayed the whole time because I needed to.
Because it's Creed.
So, yeah. And I always leave at the encore. Unless I didn't pay for the tickets. So if I pay for tickets, I'm staying the whole time. But I wanted to go for the openers because one of them was my favorite band. So Hershey's setup is there's the field seats and then there's the bleacher seats.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on the side of the stage with the bleacher seats. And like before he goes on, it's pretty spread out. Like not a lot of people are in there. People are still tailgating. And it's like the first opener goes, he's pretty good. He like comes on, he's like, I'm Dan Spencer. And then he plays 5 notes of Tennessee whiskey and then just goes into his song. It was a great troll. Like one of the best. The crowd goes nuts and then he just goes in like this like very Midwest emo sad song. It was great. I was the only one in the crowd who got it. I was like, this is emo music and he's making new emo music and people don't get it. I get it. And then the next band comes on. They're doing like an hour. They did 12 songs. I'm like, this is awesome. Like the last 2 times I wanted to go see them. My friends were coming up, but they canceled last minute, so I couldn't go. I was going to drive to Baltimore. And they played in Philly. And I had something going on. It was either like a wedding or something, so I couldn't go.
Yeah.
So like 2 weeks ago, they're like, we're going on tour with them. I'm like, I'm going. So it's me and my sister. There's like 2 people behind us to the side. And there's 3 people in front of us who are just on their phones. Like they don't know who the opener is. They're there for Post Malone. And then these 2 women and their children sit next to me. And when I say they didn't shut the hell up during the whole opener,
No.
they didn't. It was the most baseline conversation. They were talking about Mill and Hershey High School football team and showing pictures of dogs and stuff. It took everything inside of me, and it was mapping out what I would say in my head because, like, I don't know what to say. It took everything inside of me not to look at them and say, "I'm going to say this as politely as I can. Can you shut the F up?" At one point, I heard the woman go, "Well, I don't like this band." I go, "If you don't like the openers, don't come in."
But just because you don't like them doesn't mean that you can ruin everyone else's time.
She was like, here's the vibe. She complains at every school board meeting. That's like that's the vibe that I picked up from her. And like, I don't want to be rude. So I would just like clap super loud. Like my hands were hurting by the end, like to show that I'm a fan of the band.
Yeah.
I would like stick my finger in my ear, which at a concert is bad unless you have the one the sound passes through because it just vibrates.
Wow,
right?
You were really trying to send signals.
And and then I would like talk to the people around me and be like, "This band's so good." Like, yeah, like having a good time.
Right.
There was a guy in front of me who like was just like there was sweat going down his back. He was so upset. Like it's just this common etiquette. Like especially now, like back in the day, let's say 10 years ago, you would go to a concert, you probably wouldn't know the opener, right? It was like either a local band or someone who just had a hit. Now with like especially with country shows, because everybody's on like 4 or 5 labels.
Yeah.
Their openers are people who have 3 number 1 hits. Like they're like this band is very independent, refuses to sign a contract, but their streaming numbers are crazy. So like it ruined the concert for me. It's the first time it's ever happened. And now but I like, sang along with the songs. Like they were great. Like applause was great. They still killed it. But now I have to like seek them out again to go see it to erase the memory of freaking Cheryl and Carol next to me
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, and it was conversations that you could text each other.
Right.
I thought they were two people over. I was going to ask them to move down. They were right next to me, and I stared at them. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! And then like, I don't know if they were really into Post Malone because they didn't realize. Here's what blows my mind. There were people there who expected a regular Post Malone concert and were severely disappointed.
What's a regular Post Malone concert?
Not the country album that he just released. He's been #1 for 10 weeks.
Oh, yeah. He's going to play most of those songs.
The show was, the band was good. I think people had fun, but like there were people who like definitely were like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. I'm like, no.
You know, I know you really had fun at that concert because you posted like 3 videos.
Well, when you get free tickets, you have to post on the station's Instagram. So that's fun.
I was going to say, because I've never seen you take so many concert videos, and I couldn't believe your Instagram story.
I took so many because there was so much smoke and so much fireworks that I wasn't sure if I was getting good videos. So my sister did it too. She was like, I'll take some too. I think her camera's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I wound up taking so many because I don't know if these videos are good. And like, obviously I want to post it because it gets interaction. It looks good, whatever. But yeah, the people next, I just don't get it. It's concert etiquette. Don't come in. Don't come in. And their kids were just on their phone the whole time. I'm like, guys. And what I mean on their phone, on their phone, not taking video, on their phone.
Oh my God.
It's so annoying. I'm
annoyed for you. We've talked about this many times. We've had many episodes and bits on the radio where we've talked about concert etiquette. And I'm just very surprised in this day and age that people don't understand it yet.
No. And you're packed in too. Like when you're in the bleachers, you're packed in. Like you get an area, you don't get a seat. What I realized though is that they just kept yapping. I could stand up, like when they were yapping during Post Malone, because then I wouldn't hear them. But I wasn't going to stand up for the opener because I was the only one that was like really into them.
Yeah.
I didn't want to look like a dork, you know. It was so I just don't come in. If you don't like the openers, don't come in.
Go in later.
You can look online. You can look. Chocolate World's right there. Go to Chocolate World, which is what we did.
This is why tailgating was created.
There's so much information now. You can see the set list before you go. You can see what times are going on. You can see and everybody's on time now. It's amazing. I love it. Like it says 9 o'clock. They're going on 9 o'clock.
Speaking of seeing the set list, this reminds me. So my mom and Jacob were both in town last week visiting me. So that's a whole other story. Like I finally got my first taste of having to be the hostess in Nashville, like people wanting to come visit you.
Yes.
And being exhausted because they have, they want to do something every day. And I'm like, I'm still a normal person who has to go to work.
Well, someone told me, my one friend lives down there. She's like, I live here. You're on vacation. We have to find a medium.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So my mom decided to get herself tickets to go see the Beach Boys at the Ryman on Monday night. Just
Brian Wilson, who kind of sings. It's just a Brian Wilson concert.
And Mike Love.
Yes, Mike Love is okay. He actually does more, I think, now, but they always are.
Or
fighting.
Mike Love's son. Either way. So my mom goes to see the Beach Boys and
by herself.
Yes, by herself. Right. Because at this point, her friend had already left and Jacob was gone. And it was like her last night in town. So she goes, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to get tickets. I'm just going to go. And I had to work. And I was like, okay, great. Go have a good time. So I looked up the set list, right? I pulled a Justin Franiac trick out of my bag and I Googled the set list to see how long the show was slated to be.
Yeah.
Well, the time that the concert was supposed to last had come and gone. And she told me she was going to Uber over to the station when she was done. And then she would just hang out with me till I was finished. Well, it was about 3.5 hours later. I hadn't heard from her.
Wait, 3.5 after we're supposed to end?
3.5 hours after it started.
Okay.
Show was only supposed to be like an hour and 27.
I just looked up the set list, so. Oh my God.
Yeah. So 3.5 hours. So the show starts at like 7 or 7:30. It's about 10:45. And I'm like, all right, where's my mom? Right. So now I'm starting to panic. So I text her, no answer. I call her, no answer. I called the Ryman. Okay. It's closed.
God.
Right. So I just wanted to find out if the show was still in session so I could like stop panicking. So she finally texts me back and her response is, I'm backstage, can't talk.
That's so funny.
She ended up like schmoozing the people next to her or behind her. And she ended up talking to somebody out in the lobby and she got friendly with people who knew the band. And she said, the only thing I want out of this show is a set list. I'm trying to get myself a copy of the set list.
Yeah.
And they were like, we could get that for you. They called the keyboard player. They brought her backstage after the show was over.
That's wild.
She was backstage hanging out with the band when I'm sitting there thinking that she's dead somewhere. And then she sends me this picture.
She's like in the dressing room.
She's in the dressing room with the band. Like, you know what?
They play 40 songs. So like you would think like, okay, it's a long show. Also, all the songs are 2 minutes long.
Right.
Here's the thing though. The Ryman holds not a lot of people. So like chances are 90% of the people there know the Beach Boys. Your mom was the one who didn't and then somehow knows them now.
Right.
That's so funny.
I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not mad at that.
Also, 39 songs. Okay. How many Beach Boys songs can you actually name off the top of your head?
I don't know. 2? Kokomo?
Yeah, not 39. Like they even did a set with Low Cash. They did.
Yeah.
Wait, did they do Kokomo twice? No, they did it once. I was about to say, did they do Kokomo twice? Because that's insane.
Now, I have seen the Beach Boys. They were at the See Here Now Festival in Asbury Park 2 years ago when I went. And I can tell you, they are incredible.
Well, because they're just recruiting the top musicians now.
I mean, they're so good. And they brought out John Stamos. They didn't have him there this Monday.
I was going to ask because he's kind of on tour with them. I think it might have been like a summery thing.
Yeah, I think it is. But so my mom.
Chances are you know somebody. Somebody in there knows them.
My mom, the party animal. They've got their full scope of experience of life in Nashville while they were here because Keith Urban did a pop-up concert in the street and he was celebrating like his new album. And so I'm dropping them off somewhere on a Thursday. And, you know, they decided they wanted to go to Broadway for a little bit. So we go down there and we see this big old stage being built in the street. And, you know, everyone's like looking around and they're like, what's going on? Like, who's going to be here? And then the hostess at Acme Feed and Seed was like, Keith Urban's doing a surprise pop-up, right? And she's like, nobody knows. It's supposed to be a secret. So, of course, I tried to capitalize on that. And I'm like posting teasers on social media and I'm talking about it on the air. And then they went. My mom and Jacob went to see him and my mom's friend. And I had Jacob like call in. He was like we were like doing espionage. He was like my secret like concert plant. I'm like, so what's going on? And I had him on the air and I was like, this may be one of the main reasons why I need people out here with me because I need all those people to go to all these fun surprise things and give me feedback, give me content.
I got to shift because I just got a text because we've been talking about this for 2 days. Do you know, people are my friends when I say there are people who are adults. I'm 33. My friends are 33 and 34. There are adults who don't eat the crust on pizza still. Did you know this? This is insane to me. The text let me tell you the text I received because I thought it was going to go a different direction. My buddy texted me and said, just found my wife throwing out pizza crust like a psychopath. This was an 8 a.m. text. So in my mind, I'm thinking that the pizza crust was saved from the night before. Which is psychotic. I almost had a park. Like I got a text while I was driving, and I'm like, I'm on the Schuylkill. I'm like, I got to pull over because I can't handle what this is going to unfold with. That was wrong. But what I'm saying is there are multiple people in my phone that do not eat the crust of a pizza.
I'm one of them.
What are we doing? Don't tell me because it's less carbs. You're still sucking down the other part of the pizza.
That's exactly why.
It's not. It's the same. It doesn't. The crust, I will guarantee you, the crust of the pizza is probably 50 more calories and maybe a gram or two of carbs because you've already sucked down the rest of the pizza.
I know, but it's girl math in my brain.
It's bad math.
In my brain, I'm like, I'm saving myself. And also because I want to eat more pizza. So I'm saving room in my tummy for the actual pizza with the sauce and the cheese and the pepperoni by foregoing the crust and giving it to my husband and dog.
I'll be honest with you. I think that if more Italians hear you say this, they might revoke the card because like
they already would revoke it because if they knew I loved Olive Garden as much as I do.
Olive Garden chains are good. I don't know what happened on the internet, but what I'm saying, the dog gets the crust. Yes, I will give the dog some crust. But like consistently, like if you're out with people, if I'm at a table with you at a restaurant and you leave the crust, I'm going to burn the restaurant to the ground.
I'll tell you.
This is insane to me.
I eat the crust on a thin crust. I eat the crust on like an artisan pizza, like the fancy ones. And I will eat the crust on a really effing good piece of pizza.
So mostly you're eating the crust.
But if it's like your run-of-the-mill pizza joint, because we have 50 of them in our area that are probably decent, then yeah, I give it to the dog or my husband.
It's not, I think like these people, my friends, it's a consistent thing. Yeah. Like let's say you're having 3 pieces of pizza. The last one, you throw the crust out or give it to the dog. But like if you're going back, like you're getting a slice, no crust, slice, no crust, slice, no crust, we got to have a conversation. I think you might have to go back to middle school. This is insane to me. Insane to me.
I'm guilty more often than not.
Also, my hot take on pizzas, I don't love pepperoni on pizza.
Oh.
I just think I like pepperoni by itself. I think it takes away from the pizza. Because like if I'm going to get pizza, like I always go baseline cheese because I got to see what I'm working with. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get it.
I'm just not a pepperoni fan on pizza.
Mm.
I ever tell you the story about my buddy who had to go to the ER because he got pepperoni on pizza?
No.
All right, so we were at Penn State. Maybe this is why I don't like pepperoni on pizza. The marketing ploy that our pepperoni cups up is like terrible. We go to a wrestling tournament. It's Murph's dreaming. So if you hear her bark, she's dreaming.
Aww.
Because
she's dreaming of chasing squirrels.
Her feet are going like this. We go to a pizza place. It's the after day one. It's 2-day tournament. So we eat pizza. We get pepperoni. It's cupped pepperoni. We leave. We all go back to bed. We wake up the next morning, and our buddy Alex is like not there, and he's like one of our top guys. Like. We're getting ready for the weigh-in. We're like, where's Alex? They're like, oh, he's in the ER. He had to get steroids shot into his neck because the grease from the cup and the pepperoni scorched his insides.
Oh my God.
This is why I'm like, anytime I see they're like, oh, our pepperoni cups so well. I'm like, you're gonna die. You're gonna go to the ER. You're gonna be able to talk. Don't eat it. That's
like the little pepperonis.
Yeah, any type of pepperoni that will cup. Yeah. It was regular pepperoni, but it just happened to like cup up. I guess it just depends on the heat, right? But the grease from all of it just incinerated his insides. So he had to go to the ER, and he couldn't wrestle the next day. See,
that's terrible.
Bad. I know it's a great story. He's fine now. He's very successful. Besides his pepperoni incident.
Okay, so I have a question because there's something I came across earlier this week. And it's making me more homesick than usual.
Okay.
Did you know that Bradley Cooper bought a house near like New Hope?
Yeah, he lives with one of the Hadids, right?
Okay.
And then
So
so
I
does
knew about
Zayn
that.
from One Direction.
I recently saw an article that Taylor Swift may have bought a house in Bucks County.
Oh, I don't know. Well, she's from Berks.
So apparently she may have purchased a home in Doylestown.
So what you're saying is we got Taylor and Bradley Cooper, and you got Casey Anthony.
But what I need from you, and by you I mean the general public, because if this is true,
The
if
Bradley
Taylor
Cooper
Swift-
thing is true.
if she bought a house in Doylestown, can I increase the sale price of my home?
Can you
Because
put
it's
it
going
in?
on the market next week.
Can you put it in the listing? Well, let's see.
Taylor Swift's neighbor.
I mean, I told my parents if they ever sell, they could say The Bachelor was filmed right down the street.
I mean, this article is very detailed. She apparently purchased a 12,000 square foot home in Plumstead Township, which is not far from where I live.
PhillyBurbs.com. That's what
Correct.
I'm on now. 12.9. Well, you can probably find the Zillow listing. Oh, it's an LLC. She might have bought it for somebody. Because I feel like they're living in. Here's the thing. This leaking means that she's not living there. Because there's no way. The fans are insane, right?
That's true.
Like she went to a restaurant. Big yawn. She went to a restaurant. They had to like shut down the streets of the beach.
I know.
But you can capitalize on the rumor. That's what I would do.
So maybe
She has
somewhere
homes
in the listing we can say, Doylestown is known to be home to celebrities.
Yeah,
like
just something
Taylor
like that.
Swift.
Well, no, she has 5 homes, so it is a possibility that she bought one, but it could be like just for the fam.
That's true.
Yeah, like I told them to talk about The Bachelor if people come here, and now that The Bachelor's on Dancing with the Stars and doing well, I'm like, you can also capitalize on that too.
Big money.
This is like the thing in the household. We have to pause to watch him on Dancing with the Stars. Like the Phillies were on. They got killed last night, so it was fine. But I don't need to watch this.
You're gonna know who I'm talking about if I tell you this story. So we're at the bar watching the Eagles game this past weekend. And my mom just throws out this information like so nonchalantly. Did your parents ever tell you something and you're like, how have you been sleeping on this information? Like,
yes.
I'm 41 and you're just telling me this now?
Yeah, I got one too.
Okay. So we're watching the game and we were talking about how we needed to get my mom a jersey because she wasn't wearing anything that remotely resembled Eagles colors. And she said, I would get a Jeremiah Trotter jersey.
Okay. Random.
And so Jacob starts looking it up online. And then she starts telling me a story about how one time she was in the mall and she saw Jeremiah Trotter walking through the mall with someone else. And the someone else, I can't remember the name, but you're going to know who I'm talking about because you know everything. She walked up to these two people. She asked them for their autograph, got it.
Okay.
And then 2 weeks later, not Jeremiah Trotter, but the other person died in a car accident. Who was it?
Well, Jeremiah, was it? I mean, who died? So, it was not Reggie White, Jerome Brown.
And I think you're right.
Jerome Brown, yeah, Jerome Brown was it. That's also wild.
Isn't that insane? And she's like, do you think I know where that piece of paper is today?
That's insane.
She got his autograph 2 weeks before he passed away.
And she just has never told you this.
She's just been sitting on it. Like,
I like how that's how she came to what jersey she wanted. She's like, I met them one time.
Like, horrible story, tragedy. But back when he died, you didn't think to yourself, let me put this on freaking eBay?
Yeah, true. That was like eBay's heyday. I mean, I'm still on eBay now, but you could have got a lot of money for it then.
I am just dumbfounded. This is wild to me.
Mine was the fact that one of my grandfather's father, so my great grandfather, like remarried and then had kids, but my grandfather was young, and then one of those kids is a cowboy and has a rodeo podcast. So that was one. This is real. This is real. He was like a legit. He's known as a bull rider.
That's
like,
amazing.
in the bull ride world. Was an OG cowboy. And then we went to Cowtown. He was at Cowtown Rodeo. We went to Cowtown for a bit, and then I was like, "Do you know this guy?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're really good friends." I go, "Somehow we're related." And then she texted him, and he's like, "Oh, I know him." I'm like, "I don't know you." Obviously, it's probably from the radio.
Right.
But yeah, and then I looked him up on Facebook, and he has a rodeo podcast. Real cowboy. I'm in the suburbs. He's a real cowboy.
Yeah.
Like, so it's in the genes somehow far away. We are in the genes.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, so the pizza crust thing, I just got a notification. The poll that my buddy put up, do you eat the crust, is about to expire. Should I see what the results are?
Yes, please.
10 votes. 10 people said yes. So there's the people who didn't vote, because I can see who voted, are the ones who don't eat it.
Or don't eat. Exactly.
Did not want to admit to it. There we go. That's funny that the timing was right then.
I know. It's terrible. I'll admit to it.
They're cutting bricks out back, and there's smoke everywhere. It's kind of horrifying. And Mert's not having it. It's fine. You're fine. Okay. It literally looks like something's on fire out back. They're redoing the patio. Like me and Dad did pavers like 15 years ago. But since they started redoing it, I haven't seen, and this is the most insane thing. We have 15 slugs a night on the patio. And when I say big, I mean like they're as big as my finger. Thick. And sometimes I line up in a row, and it's horrifying. When you wake up in the morning, you can see the snail trail, the slug.
Yeah,
rug.
the slime.
But it like glistens. It's kind of cool looking, but I've stepped on so many. Now I started doing shoes outside because it's when stepping on a snail is the grossest thing ever. Slug, worst thing ever.
So I don't know if you're up on beauty trends, but
are people putting them on their face?
Yes, correct. I
Maybe
learned,
the bomb should hit the world.
I learned at my old yoga studio in Doylestown from one of my yoga instructors that there's this new trend for your skin where people are putting like snails on their face because the stuff that they secrete has like all these nutrients and minerals and like things that are good for your skin, and it helps.
I'm looking at it now.
The elasticity, and it's become like a real trend. There are people out there who will raise their own snails for beauty purposes only.
Oh, these are big snail. Oh my God, this snail's like the size of a cucumber.
Yeah.
On this chick's face.
So like Botox is out, snails are in.
Let me tell you, I don't like bugs. I guess these are bugs. I guess they're considered bugs, right? I guess they're insects. These are how's your skin so glowing? Snail trail. Could mean multiple things, but this is.
I mean,
I could make a lot of money if it was slugs because we have so many.
You should be able to find videos of people actually putting the snails on their face.
I don't want to watch them. There's enough pictures on here that are truly horrifying. I don't love bugs, and this is not.
It's the newest thing.
And their antennas
stay young.
The antennas just made me throw up.
The song should be changed to "Forever Slug."
But like, then there's like, you know what's going to happen? Slug. Sea snails are like one of the most venomous creatures in the world. Someone's going to do that and then die from it. And they'll be like, your skin's glowing, at least in your casket. You know, as long as you look good. As long as I look good while I'm dead, that's all that really matters. I don't want people to walk up and be like, he looks like crap.
He looks like he let snails crawl on his face for the last 10 years of his life.
That's always a weird thing when you go to a funeral and like, they look so great. I'm like, well, they don't care anymore. They're somewhere else. You know what I mean?
That's because they had someone embalming them.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they look so great.
you getting like, yeah, you're getting bombed. You look good. That's going to be the next trend.
That's the new goal. It's no longer just I want to look alive. It's like I want to look like I've been embalmed.
Yeah, I'm sure people have been putting embalming fluid into themselves to make them look better. Because if you can inject it, they're going to do it. Oh God, that's a good place to end.
Yeah, we got to end this now. Cut it off while we're ahead.
Well, when are we posting this real quick? Monday?
Yeah.
Before I say something? Okay, good. My mom's surprise parties this weekend, so I'll have some updates because I have a very intricate lie. Like, very intricate lie. That is quite possibly the best lie of all time. So just don't post that clip, but don't post this. Yeah, don't post it before Sunday.
Okay, so I won't, but mom's surprise party intricacies
Sunday.
To be continued.
Very, very intricate lie. Like, I've involved graphic designers. Like, it's just to get.
My gosh.
Because she'll figure it out. So this is like we've thrown her off the trail. Not the snail trail, the regular trail. It'll be good. It'll be a good lie.
Okay.
Because no one else in my family can lie except me. So that's the thing.
That's a gift.
Yeah. Not a great gift. Very manipulative, but it's for a good cause, I guess.
All right. Well, we'll find out next
week.
Next week on the most dramatic episode.
Big lies.
Okay, bye, mayonnaise.